Hello everyone, this is an intermediate guide to Smash 64 speedruns. I made a beginner guide, and I am assuming that you've either seen that guide or you're already well familiar with Smash 64 speedruns. So a lot of the stuff I will not necessarily go over because I've already gone through it in the beginner guide. That said, what I'm mostly going to be focusing on this guide is learning about some AI behavior and ways to KO the characters faster. So it's not necessarily new strats or things like that for every character. It's just more of a concept and stuff like that that applies to every character. So if you haven't seen the beginner guide, or if you have, just a reminder, turn the timer to infinite. It saves 11 seconds in the run in the score calculation. Otherwise, this guide is being done on an emulator. I normally run on console, but for the sake of being able to do this easier, I'm using an emulator, so I'll be able to save states before stages, and I can change character between each stage. So I will start it off. So the first thing learn AI behavior. I'll show that throughout the whole thing. The first thing I should say on there is be efficient. Use fast attacks and moves, and weak hit edge guards are better. What I mean by that is, for the first one, use fast attacks and moves. Like if Link is over there, dash attack pushes him closer to the edge of the stage, and jab does as well, but these aren't really great moves to use. Like, that's not really going to get you doing a run quickly. What I mean more is, like, use stronger moves that will actually get more stuff done, like down smash and stuff like that. A better example is Fox. Something I have seen people do is, and I forgot that I can't change it that way. I have to change it this way. I'll keep that Pikachu. Fox. So one thing I have seen people do is, like, they'll get a character going out of the way, but then to make sure that they deal enough damage, they'll do something like this, which obviously is not optimal at all. Because sure, you may have enough damage to now be able to KO your opponent, but that's very inefficient. Instead, what you should be doing is moves that efficiently get you to KOing the character. So, for example, with Fox, since I've already chosen him, like, you can throw, you can use moves like that, and pretty much just quickly get him off stage. Next thing, I purposely didn't kill him there because I want to show off, or want to discuss the next part I have. Weak hit edge guards are better. What I mean by that is, let's say Link is off stage and he is recovering and that's not going to work, or actually it will. Using a forward smash like that, the issue with that is Link was basically dead, but I just knocked him so far away and I had to wait for him to finally fall down again to his death. So what I mean by weak hit edge guards are better, I'll go back to Luigi. There we go. Oops. So throw. So what I mean by weak hit edge guards is something like that. Even if Link up Bs, he's not going to be able to recover anymore. If I smashed him away, he was going to be knocked far enough that he wasn't going to be able, either way, he wasn't going to be able to recover. But a weak hit like that makes sure that he can't recover and makes him fall down faster. It saves maybe 1 or 2 seconds. But if you do that at each stage, that does add up. So doing something like that is probably a good thing to do. Compared to using a strong move. So that's something to keep in mind. Yoshi team, I will pick DK for this. One other thing I had on there. I will go back. So, what's a good character for this? Actually, I will do Luigi again for this. So, what I mean by try to lose a stock ASAP if possible is, let's say you're doing something. Okay, that wasn't a good example, but something important. Can you see my mouse? Yes, you can. So, one of the bonuses you get is no miss, and that appears for every stage that you have not lost a stock yet. So if you lose a stock on Link stage, you do not get no miss for the rest of the game, for the rest of your run. And the thing is, each bonus is a 1/6 of a second. So if you're able to lose a stock, you're saving a 1/6 of a second for every stage you have yet to complete. So the sooner you lose a stock, the more time you save overall, and you can save pretty much up to 2 seconds. The issue with this is, especially for Link stage, you only save about 2 seconds. So while this is a good thing to do to save a couple of seconds, don't go out of your way wasting 5 more seconds just to save the no miss. If it's something you can do along the way, like for example, I know I'm repeating this over Link stage over and over again, but I'm trying to show stuff. I think Mario's the better character for this. So move this back. So I'm going to show what my normal Mario strat is. So because I died first, you are going to see there's no miss, doesn't appear anywhere anymore, and it won't appear for the rest of the run. So although this might not be the fastest way of KOing Link, it saves 2 seconds in the run overall. The fastest way to KO Link is a down B spike, which is a complicated, inconsistent strat. But because I saved 2 seconds for the rest of the run, this is actually a faster strategy. So that is something to keep in mind. Again, don't go out of your way. And also for characters that you do suicide strats, like DK and Kirby, keep track of how many stocks you're losing in suicide strats before you start losing stocks here. For example, DK, you do not want to be doing this at all because you're losing pretty much every other stock. So that's just something to keep in mind. The sooner you lose a stock, the more time you save in the run overall, as weird as that may sound. So that's why you see a lot of people suicide on Link if they are able to do so. Next stage, I'm going to be DK for this. Plan ahead on multi-man stages. By this, I mean, like to start off, you've got, as you're going through it, look at where you've got Yoshi's and try to clear as many as you can. So like I see 2 shadows over here. I'll go for these ones over here. And I'm pretty much just going where I see they're going to be and trying to use my up B in such a way that it will clear them that way. And I just realized I forgot to save state, so I'm going to reset. And I will actually remember to save states. But this applies to any character. I'll just quickly do Link. Except for the part where he's just jumping around. It's not really, don't use that strat, it's not a good strat, but save states, and let's go. So what I mean by plan ahead and look at shadows is, like, if I use my up air here, okay, I'm pretty much using up air for this as the example. Like I'm trying to hit multiple Yoshis at once. If I use that up here, I can hit both of those. I see the shadows and I see two landing in the middle. And I'm pretty much just following where the Yoshis are going to be and trying to hit as many as I can at a time. I'm not really doing a good job with it either, but I think DK was a better example for this, so I will swap back over to DK. Whoops. So the shadows will show where the Yoshis are spawning. So pretty much just use up B and try to plan it so you get as many as you can. So that Yoshi is going to jump. I will follow its trajectory and try to get stuff. I'm pretty much just positioning myself with my up B so I hit as many as I can. I'm not really doing anything special. I'm just sorry. I'm just looking at where the Yoshis are going to be, predicting where they're going to end up, and trying to place my moves in such a way that I hit as many as I can at once. And that's really all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything overly crazy. Anyways, that's basically it for that. Next thing I say, I don't say anything for Fox. There's nothing really special for Fox. It's pretty much just complete the stage. And same thing with what I said earlier, weak hit edge guards are better. So, for example, if I'm going through and I'm throwing him on the side, like instead of using a giant attack, I failed. Like, as he's recovering, I probably do a down tilt, or in the case of Donkey Kong, I've got down air, I've got spikes I can use. They're all better than just a giant move that knocks him far away. So the next one is... I'll use DK for this. It's actually not a bad character for this. The next thing I say is consider assuming Mario won't recover. Oops. So like right now, Mario would have to up B to recover. If he doesn't recover, I save a lot of time and I can just continue doing other stuff. The reason why I say assume Mario won't recover, or consider assuming Mario won't recover, is if you spend time trying to edgeguard Mario, that's time you're spending not KOing Luigi. So if you're trying to get a better time, you're going to have to start taking risks like that. At the beginner level, it's pretty much just do what you can to complete the stage. But the more advanced you get, the more risk you're going to have to take. For example, if Mario up-B'd, he was going to recover and I lose even more time. But the faster your runs get, the more you need to take those risks. So that's... I just want to make sure this thing is actually working. Yeah, okay, it's still working. So risky things like that at first may not seem like it's that good, but the more runs you do, especially if you're planning on doing a lot of runs, definitely go for it. Take the risks, because if you get the success, it will save you a lot of time in the end, especially if you do it on several stages. But at the same time, you're risking losing time at the same time. So if you're going for the really good run, you're going to have to start taking risks. If your time's still not that great, and you just want to get a PB, then don't take the risk. Just do the safe stuff. But eventually you're going to have to get to a point where you take the risk. Anyways, that's all for that stage, and I am trying to reset myself up. There we go. There's other things on other stages that are similar where you want to take risks in... Like, this is kind of a 50-50 risk. It's not a safe risk to take. But, like, there's better examples than this, but this was one where I could see it showing an example of. So this is inconsistent, so I'm going to do a save states. Actually, I will pick DK. So Pikachu's recovery is weird on this stage. His whole AI is a little bit weird. So like if you grab him and you throw him. Oops. Let's try this again. That's not going to work. I'm trying to get him to do something. So if he ends up being around here, he will immediately up B off stage. So pretty much what happens is if he ends up being anywhere around here, like in that case he just fell down, which is an even better case. But if he ends up being, I'm trying to show, don't really have a good way of showing it. If he ends up being somewhere around here, where my mouse is, he will either just fall to his death there, or sometimes he will just up B all the way off stage like he did the first time. So trying to get Pikachu into that area will often result in just immediately you finish the stage. So it's kind of tricky to do, but if you find a strategy that works consistently that gets in there, then you can just do that and you will finish the stage. The next thing I want to show is edge guarding Giant DK. Oops, save. I hope that saved on time. So again, you deal damage, and but now what I'm trying to show is how to actually edge guard Giant DK efficiently. So every character will do a jump and then an up B. Something special about that is, if you interrupt something, and I accidentally landed on the stage. So if I knock him off, if I hit him with something, he won't use his jump anymore, and then he won't use his up B anymore after he up Bs. So hitting, and this applies to every AI, hitting them after they use up B means they will not use up B again unless you're on top of the stage. If they never have a shadow show up on the stage, they will not up B. So that is something you can do with pretty much every character. I will do it again with, I forgot it goes that fast. There we go. I'll show it with Luigi this time. So you're dealing damage, you're doing stuff, you're using weird moves, whatever you want. He jumps, he uses up B, and he doesn't use either again, he just falls to his death. So pretty much what I did there is, as soon as he jumped, I hit him with a move that stunned him in some way. As soon as he uses up B, I use a move that stunned him in some way, and then he drops. As long as he's far away from the stage that he does not grab the ledge, you just finish the stage. So that is a trick you can do for Giant DK, and it edge guards him very easily. You don't have to deal massive damage, just enough to be able to prevent him from recovering, and then you're basically done. So next is Kirby Team safe strategy. What I mean by that is, I'm actually going to do this with Luigi, so save here. So if you go up to Kirby's and you start throwing them and doing things, eventually they're going to start attacking you, and it's not going to be safe going close to them because they're just going to attack you everywhere. So what I mean by a safe strategy with the Kirby Team is, I'm going to come to throws kill. So if I use a throw, he's dead. But obviously that's not consistent if I just want to run up to him, because if I just run up, I'm getting hit. So what if instead I did something like accidentally throw a Pokeball that's going to clear a bunch of them out? Okay, let's try this again. So what if I were to do like a move that's not a good example? Like a weak hit move into a grab, and this isn't working. Let's try this again. So you don't have to worry at the beginning, they're kind of not as aggressive, but like weak hit into grab. Hits into grab. And you can hit them, you can grab them off of mistech. But weak hit into grab. Hits into, okay, I guess down air works. But weak hit into grab. Weak hit into grab. That's pretty much what I mean by safe strategies. Obviously, it's slower by a very slight amount, but it's consistent. If you get them with a weak hit, then you're going to KO them, versus if you just go for a grab and they hit you, then you're going to lose a lot of time. So quite often I'll do that instead of just run for a grab. One character I do it with is Yoshi, which I just realized I don't have a good save state for it. But I will actually go back anyways and show it. So I'm going to SD my stocks away. And I'll show you what I do with Yoshi. Oops. Thank you. And just to make sure I don't make mistakes, save state here. So Yoshi, my strategy is down tilt. It's pretty much the best move in this. So let's say we got something like this. I'll come in, hit with a neutral air, and then down tilt from that, because it pops them up perfectly for that. So neutral air, down tilts. Neutral air, down tilts. Except for the part where I failed. But stuff like that you can do, and it's not as fast. But in the case of Yoshi, where you have to land before you use down tilt, it's actually very consistent and very safe. Use a move that stuns them long enough that you can use the down tilts. So that's something to keep in mind. Better general Samus strategy. I'm trying to remember what I meant by that. Well, first thing, save states. So better general Samus strategy. Ideally, what you want to do is build damage and then KO. But as soon as you get Samus to run away everywhere, you have trouble. So keeping Samus under control is really important. Like, for example, I can do stuff like that. Like, oops. Just up tilt and down airs. That builds damage up to the point where I can KO Samus. Other characters that don't have as good control, just generally trying to combo Samus is a good thing to do. So, like, for example, Luigi, Samus is going to roll away. Like, up smash, Samus will fall back down. Do a few up airs into an up B, and there we go, the stage is over. Having control over Samus is very important. I'll show off Fox. I'm just showing off a few different characters just to kind of give an idea. So Fox, up tilts a few times, just build damage a bit. Samus is going to come down to here, so I can up smash here. Samus is going to not come here. So my up smash is stale. That's the only issue that's going on with this strategy. But as you can see, I've got control over Samus. Although that wasn't a great Samus, I had control. So regardless of what Samus did, I wouldn't really have that much of a problem. Let's try Ness. I'm going to do double jump cancels. So again, I've got control. I'm going to throw. And this is kind of a special strat you can do. I actually should explain that. So what I did there is Samus got hit by the lava. After you get hit by the lava, there's a certain amount of time that you cannot get hit by the lava again. So what you do is after they get hit by the lava, you spike them through the lava so that they get KO'd before the next hit happens. It's kind of a tight window, but at the same time, it's actually not that hard. So that's one thing you can do, and it's a good way to, if you want to get more control over the character, over Samus, because Samus bouncing off the lava is terrible, but if you have a spike, you can take advantage of it. Other examples of controlling Samus, I will do Kirby. This is probably going to be the last one I'm going to do. So a lot of people, actually I'll show two things with Kirby. One thing I see people do is they try to knock Samus away, and as soon as Samus recovers, they try to knock her away. And just kind of do stuff like this. The issue with that is, as Samus is recovering, that's time lost. So I miss, and now Samus is going to recover, or attempt to recover. That was time lost, and Samus is going to do weird things. I got lucky, but the point is, that's a lot of time lost. Unless it's going to KO, knocking Samus off stage is not a good idea. So what I tend to do instead is I try to combo Samus in some way. So like, for example, I'll just spam a whole bunch of down airs, keep Samus under control, and then at this point, the damage is high enough that I can just use a move. They'll just KO Samus and I'm failing, but you get the idea. I did not mean to do that. Thankfully, I've got save states. So again, just down airs. Just dealing a whole bunch of damage. And then force smashing once the damage is high enough. So pretty much have control over Samus. If you've got control over Samus, the stage will go by so much better. As soon as you lose control over Samus, that's when you get weird things happening where Samus up-Bs you, Samus rolls everywhere, Samus hits you with a grab and stuff like that. If you can keep control over Samus, the stage will go by so much easier. Next is Metal Mario. Kirby has his own strats for Metal Mario, but he also is a good example of what I'm trying to show. I just realized I did not save state, so edge guarding Metal Mario, as he's recovering, this is not going as I was hoping. This should work. So that actually did not work. Restore, I'll quickly go through this. Oops. There we go. Now I'll actually save state this time. What's a good character for this actually? Oh well, I'll just go with Kirby. So as far as edge guarding Metal Mario goes, just gonna deal a bunch of damage. So Metal Mario's up B is a move that catches a lot of people off guard, and he didn't want to recover. Okay. I'm instead going to show what I meant by platforms. So platform strategy is something you probably see some of the upper level runners do. It's jumping up and then using 3 aerials, one as you're going up, one as you're landing, and one as platform drop from the platform. It's 3 aerials, and it can quickly deal a whole bunch of damage. And pretty much every character can do some form of this. And while I'm at it, and he did not want to recover. What I'm trying to show is, as Middle Mario is recovering, using a move that knocks him, it's similar to the Giant DK one. If you can hit him with something as he's using his up B, he will just get KO'd immediately. So if you have a move that has a long range, a good example of this is Pikachu. I probably should pick Pikachu to begin with. So the platform thing, you can do jump up. My favorite thing is jump and double jump with most characters. And then you can just do an arrow as you're going up, an arrow as you're going down, an arrow as you fall through the platform. What I mean by edge guarding Middle Mario is, if I use forward smash, like, he didn't recover, but if he did his up B, he was going to get hit by forward smash, and then he would just get immediately KO'd. If you have a character that has a move that can reach Middle Mario like that, then use one of those moves. So there's that. Otherwise, try to find a way that you can edge guard him easily, because a lot of people don't know how to edge guard him, and it's kind of hard to go through each character because Middle Mario is inconsistent in how he wants to recover. But if you can find a way that can make sure that you get a good chance of edge guarding him, that would be a good thing to do. Next thing I want to show is a strategy that, if you've seen high-level runs of this, you've probably seen this strat. It's the bumper. It works with every character. And I just realized it in save state, so I will have to redo the Middle Mario stage to change characters. So please don't tell me Fox followed me. I don't think he did. Okay, good. So these bumpers, one thing you can do is just jump over them like this. But what you see a lot of upper level runners do is they'll roll into the bumper like that, so it pushes them to the side. The way to get even better results from that is, as you roll, tech roll, and then suddenly I'm just right on the edge over there. It's kind of a specific position you have to be in to be able to do it. So you basically run, you roll, and then you just tech roll, and then there you go. You're at the end. It saves a lot of time. And the other thing about it is, there is a bonus you get for completing the stage without taking damage. And because that is the only bonus you can get, if you get it, you lose about 2 seconds, and a second and a half to 2 seconds. So if you take damage at any point, you want to take damage at some point. At the beginner level, this isn't really that important, but at the intermediate level, you're at the point where you want to take damage at some point. It's going to save you a second to 2 seconds or something like that in the bonus to score calculation. Anyways, I need to redo this, so I'm going to be very lazy and just pick DK and just carry him off the stage. There we go. So, although the bumper strat exists, there's a couple characters I do not do it with. One is Captain Falcon, because he just runs right by them and just ignores them. He can pretty much go faster by running through, jumping over the one and then just running through. Fox also may or may not be faster, I forget, but I don't think I necessarily do it. I think I do it with Fox, actually. Yoshi is a character I also purposely do not do it for. Save state, and I will do Yoshi. So one nice thing about Yoshi is his double jumps is his super armor over a bunch of things. So for example, I can just do that. I can do that. I took damage from 2 sources that did not affect me. And with the bumpers, I did not do what I wanted to do. But pretty much I would come here. That also was not what I meant to do. But I pretty much just jump. And then as I'm about to get hit by a bumper, I use my double jump to basically super armor through. So I come here, do something like that. It's not really a good example, but I don't have the right bumper cycle at this point, but you get the idea. Pretty much I just come through, I dodge the bumpers, something along the lines of that, and I just complete the stage. I don't think there's anything else I have to say, so I'll just finish this off. Save. Polygon team tips and tricks. One thing that I see a lot of people do, which in a way I don't blame them for doing it, but in another way I don't agree with it. Falcon is a good example. There's two things to there's a few things to consider with the Polygon team or any stage. One, especially for Polygon team, stale moves is a huge issue. So for example, I'm going to use neutral air. That KO'd him. I'm going to use neutral air. That did not KO him right away. Although he didn't recover, the amount of time that it took him to die is a lot of time loss. My neutral air currently is stale, so the more I use neutral air, it's not going to KO, unless, well, right now they're at high damage, so that's going to KO. But unless you're on the side of the stage, like that, or if you're like a character like Kirby, actually even Kirby didn't die, but there's 3 neutral airs, Kirby is going to recover. It's not really the best move to use. Like, you can use other moves like back here, but suddenly this character here didn't die right away. The more characters that don't die right away, the longer it is going to be. Falcon Kick immediately KOs everything. So for Falcon, using a move like Falcon Kick, except for the part where I'm missing, it might have a bit of a delay on it, but it immediately KOs stuff. So, like, you can see how fast it's going through it relative to, whoops. So, although it's not really the fastest thing to do, it's an immediate KO, which is what you want to see. It means the next polygon spawns faster, and you just go through it quicker. Restore. So if there's a move that you are using that is not immediately KOing the polygon, I would not recommend using that, and I would recommend using something else for the most part. Another example is Luigi, where for example, forward air, that's going to KO, or maybe it's not, but Luigi grabs will KO, so if I were to do just grabs, like, I'm just quickly going through the stage, using grabs and stuff like that, versus I'll start using aerials now. No one's dead yet, Samus actually recovered. That character recovered. So you can kind of see the difference where whenever I use aerials, it doesn't work as well, versus when I use grabs, it does. A couple of other things to note for Polygon Team. Pokeballs are risk reward. You might get a good Pokeball like that, which will just immediately KO a lot of characters really quickly. You might get a character that will cause even more problems. So it's kind of a risk whether or not you want to do it. I'm waiting for other items to spawn. If you get an item like a home run bat, you can throw it at people. It will just immediately KO them. And the rest I'm going to have to restart because there's not many characters left. So there's a few other items to look out for that's really, really good. I'm pretty much waiting on items now, so that's not really that good. I'm pretty much just waiting on items. Motion sensor bomb, you can throw that, and if someone runs into it, then they're just going to get KO'd immediately. Like, there's items you can use, but like motion sensor bomb, I wouldn't go for this. If that was on a platform here, I would just leave it be, and as soon as the character spawns there, they'll get KO'd by it. Items you want to go for and you absolutely want to go for are red shells. Like that, I wouldn't touch. I would just leave it there, and it's going to eventually KO someone that walks into it, or 2 people. Red shells are instant KOs. So if you can get a red shell, you can get it on the top platform. Actually, I'll play RNG again. So that's not really a great one. Actually, it's turning out pretty good. The Star Beam is not a great attack. It doesn't really do much at all, but if they touch Star Me itself, then that's a good thing. So again, there's the bomb there. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to let someone walk into it. I'm just waiting for other items to kind of show off what different items can do. Let's see what's in here. Bumper is an item you want to have, because if someone hits the bumper, it's an immediate KO. Except for the part where it doesn't last long. So Meowth is kind of an issue. Like, for example, the coin attack doesn't really do much. If they touch Meowth himself, then that's good. Again, Beam Sword, you can throw it at people. You can also use it as an attack, which actually is pretty decent. But I would mostly grab it to pick up and throw it at people. I'll just grab the tomato. But yeah, different items have different uses. Red Shell, absolutely go for it. Bumper instantly KOs characters. Hammers, you do not want to see that, and you want to protect it and make sure no one grabs it. Or if you want someone to grab it, you want it to do something along the lines of this. And I failed. But okay, I failed. And I'm the last one left aside from that one Yoshi, so actually I think that's pretty much everything I need to show for this. Red shells is an item you want to do. I couldn't really show it off, but when you see it, you'll see what I mean if you use it. Last, Master Hand optimization and stale moves. I will remember to save state because I don't want to go through Polygon Team again. So what I mean by stale moves is in the beginner guide, I showed a bunch of moves that you can do. A good example to this is Pikachu. Just in case I didn't save state, I'll save state again. So Pikachu, I said that up smash works, and Master Hand went away. So up smash works, that was 18 damage, that was 14, that was 14. So the first up smash dealt 14 damage, also I purposely broke my shield there. If you take too much damage on your shield, you will get your shield broken. But because up smash was the last move I used, every up smash is going to deal only 14 damage. So if my first up tilt, he's at 184 damage, my first up tilt is going to deal 11 damage, and then 9, 9, 9, 9. So if I alternate them, however, now I didn't see how much damage that dealt, but so up smash was the last one I used. So up tilt deals 10. Up smash deals, that was weak hit. I'm gonna have to reset this. So still up smash deals 14 damage, still up tilt deals 9 damage. If I alternate between the two, I reduce stale move's effect. So okay, so I hit him with that. So up smash deals 15, up tilt deals 10. So now I'm alternating between 10 and 15 damage. I'm dealing an extra % for each of the moves. So 15, 10, 15, 10, 15, 10. So taking into account stale moves is really important. Regardless of what strategy you use, if you do like the double aerial strategy, use different aerials because then you're going to deal more damage. For example, neutral air, back air, up air, down air, back air, up air, neutral air. Then again, you want to make sure you're using strong high damage moves, so you could like alternate back air, neutral air, because those deal quite a bit of damage. And this pretty much applies to any character. So restore. Let's move over to. Actually, let's do Luigi again. So Luigi is really good with double aerials. So like forward air, neutral air, back air, neutral air, forward air, neutral air, back air, neutral air. The reason why I'm alternating is because of stale moves. It reduces the effect of stale moves on my damage output. And it makes it so I deal more damage. So that's pretty much all I really wanted to talk about for this. Not really any new strategies, like new strategy things, just more things to consider as you're going through. Reducing stale moves is really important. So, especially for Master Hand, some characters like Yoshi or Kirby, you're using that one move and you don't care about stale moves. You're just using it because it's so good. Other characters that don't have one broken move like that, you want to use stale move. You want to use multiple moves to remove stale moves if you can. There's been a lot of characters that have done tests to see what the best strategies are. It's kind of hard. I haven't done all of them, so at least not yet. So I can't really just go through all the characters' strategies, but I'll go through some of the ones I remember. I'll go through each one of them one at a time and say what I remember being the possible best strategy. So Luigi, I believe, is what I was using earlier. Short hop, forward air, neutral air, back air, neutral air, except for the part where he went away. But that's pretty much it for Luigi. It's the exact same thing for Mario. Forward air, neutral air, back air, neutral air. Because Mario's jump isn't as high, what you could do instead is do a full hop and then fast fall neutral air to make sure you get both hits out. Donkey Kong is... There's two different strategies. One is way harder than the other, to the point where I'm starting to not even use the harder strategy because it's way too inconsistent. The easy strategy is just spam up smash. It deals a ton of damage and it's pretty good. The other strategy is full hop neutral air, which I'm actually getting now. It's two different moves. And I'm actually getting it. Okay. But forward air, neutral air, it deals a lot of damage, so that's why I'm pretty much going for it. Link, as I mentioned in the previous one, down air deals a lot of damage, but at the same time, stale moves is a problem. Because if you keep on, I'll just use down air twice here, for example. First one dealt, that was 32 damage. The next one is going to deal 24 damage. So from 32 damage to 24 damage. So my way around that is I use back air into down air. That way back air de-steals my down air so that I can get both hits at decent percents of damage. That's pretty much what I do with Link. Samus is just up smash. I'll just show it quickly a couple times. So Samus's up smash just deals so much damage. And then just that if he goes away. But it just shreds Master Hand. Captain Falcon. I'm going to show the more realistic strategy. If you see my very easy 5-stock run, you'll see me do down smash. That is pretty much pixel perfect, and I got really lucky that I got that pixel. But realistically, the best thing to do with Captain Falcon is up tilt and upward angled forward tilt, and just alternate those two. That removes stale moves, and it like just alternating between the two. Even if you don't get it quite right, you're still, both of them are still dealing a lot of damage. So even if you don't quite get it right, you're still dealing a lot of damage. Ness, I just do double jump capsuled up airs. You can do other arrows as well, like down airs and up airs and other things. I don't know what the best arrow combination is. The issue with trying to move it around is like you might just do a misinput. So what I actually do is, although this doesn't say what stale moves, I just do double cancel up airs. If you're better at controlling Ness than I am, and I almost never use Ness in speedruns or for one-player mode, so or in versus mode. So my Ness control is actually not that great. But if you are really good at controlling Ness and changing up your double jump cancel arrows quickly, that would be something good to do. Yoshi is, again, just a single move. It's just down air. Oops. But you can see it's just shredding Master Hand completely. Next is Kirby. Kirby is just to use up tilts. It's pretty much as good as Samus's up smash and Yoshi's down air. Just up tilt forever. I would recommend timing it instead of I attempted to use down B to dodge the pokes. Down B is a good move to use to dodge damage. And if he uses that move, if you know how to smash DI, I'd highly recommend smash DIing out of it. Because then you don't get knocked away, which is going to lose a bunch of time. And if you get out of it, the move itself is going to go by faster. So, yeah. Next is Fox. There's two things you can do with Fox. One is easier to do than the other. The easy one is just like Captain Falcon, just up tilt, forward angle, forward tilt, and just alternate those two. The other thing, which is actually faster, is forward air, neutral air, back air, neutral air. Kind of like Mario and Luigi. Forward air, neutral air, back air, neutral air. Except for the part where I'm failing it. But yeah, that's more precise and it's a lot harder to do. But it's something you can do. Pikachu, I don't quite know what the best strategy is. I have not done optimization checks on him. But it would very likely be double aerials. How much damage should these do? That's 14. That's 16. That's 13. And up air is probably way less. Yeah, up air is just 10. So it looks like it's back air and neutral air. So back air to neutral air, just repeat it over and over again, would probably be the fastest way of doing it. An example of what I mean by don't use drill moves if you can. Look how slow this is. It's dealing some damage, but it's 21 damage in a very slow amount of time. That's pretty much what drill moves usually do. Exceptions are Yoshi and Samus, where they just deal so much damage where you want to go for it. And I'm surprised I didn't get hit. Lastly is Jigglypuff. I think I said in... this is another example where drill moves are actually not that bad, but double aerials are actually pretty good. Jigglypuff doesn't have a lot of things that do a lot of damage, so one thing you could actually do is downer and then neutral air as you're coming down. Because that's 30 damage on the down air, and then it's 13 damage on the neutral air, so that's 43 damage per jump. And that's actually shredding Master Hand a lot faster than I was expecting. Anyways, that's pretty much all the characters. The other strategy a lot of people use with Jigglypuff is up tilts, but that's actually not that fast at all. So I would highly recommend using down airs and neutral airs, or just double aerials in general. A lot of characters, double aerials is actually faster than whatever else that they could be doing. So I would recommend doing that if you're able to do so. Anyways, I can't think of anything else I can think of. So the first thing on the list, learn AI behavior. That's something the more you run, the more you'll understand how the AI functions. So it's not really something I can say, the AI will do this in this situation, stuff like that. It's more something that the more you do it, the more you'll learn it. It's something you kind of have to learn yourself more than someone else teach you how to do it or teach you what it is. So the more you run, the more you'll learn. And that's pretty much how it is for that. Other than that, that's pretty much going to be the end of this intermediate guide. I'm planning on making an advanced guide as well. Well, I'm going to do it at the same time as this. And I've already made the beginner guide. So yeah, if you want to see an advanced guide, if you think you're ready for it, that one is not going to have anything overly incredible. It's going to be more just concept related stuff. Like this one, I went into more detail than I was expecting, but the other one, I am not playing through the stages. I am just discussing ways to save a couple of extra seconds if you understand what you're doing, pretty much. So if you think you're ready for that, then take a look at that. Otherwise, I am going to call it quits for the guide. Thanks for watching, and good luck on your runs.